This is IELTS test taken on 15th of November 2020. My name is Konstantin.
Nice to meet you. I am Diana.
Okay, where are you from, Diana?
I have been living in Kyiv for last 10 years, but originally I came from Czech Republic.
Can I see your ID, please?
Yes, sure.
That's fine. Right. In the first part, I'm going to ask you some general questions about yourself. All right?
Yes, sure.
Okay. What would you suggest a visitor should see and do in your country?
Okay, it's quite interesting question because Ukraine is quite big country and there are a lot of places that foreigner need to see. First of all, I would recommend to visit Kyiv because it's the capital of Ukraine and here is picturesque city center and it would be a great experience. Afterwards, I would recommend to visit Lviv because that city is a mix of Western and Eastern Europe in one place.
Thank you. Are there any traditional arts or music you would recommend?
First of all, I would recommend to listen Okean Elzy because this group stands for Ukraine at all because they came from the western part of Ukraine, from Uzhgorod, and afterwards they're still living in Kyiv, so it would be a great time to hear that music.
Tell me about the kind of foreign visitors or tourists who go to your country.
Okay, to begin with, nowadays Ukraine is following European traditions and of course all the Europeans would like to visit Ukraine to see what the country would came into European Union in nearest years, of course. And of course, a lot of people from America like to visit Ukraine because of some political reasons.
Okay. In what ways has tourism changed in your country?
Honestly, I don't remember how it was 10 years ago, but nowadays there are larger industry of tourism and a lot of places are renamed also in English, so it's easier for tourists to find something in the city.
Thank you. In the second part, I want you to talk for about 1 or 2 minutes. You have 1 minute for preparation. You can make some notes if you wish. Yeah?
Yeah,
and
I would like
here
to.
Is your card. Okay,
Thank
here we
you.
go. All right?
Yeah.
You can start talk now.
Yes, so I would like to tell you about a memorable event in my life. To begin with, I have 2 such events. First one has happened when I was maybe 5 or 6 years old, and it was the present given to me. It was my first Barbie doll. Not a lot of children in Ukraine at that time had the dolls at all. And I was extremely lucky because after that, a friend of my parents also presented me an enormous Barbie doll house. That was unbelievable for 6 years old me. The other one event is happened when I was walking with my friends in a park, and it was a city center, holiday maybe, I don't remember right now. And we have met a little tiny hedgehog in the city center. It was quite strange because a big city and wild animal right in the center.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
In part number 3, I'm going to ask you some general questions related to previous topics. All right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. The first question is, how important are ceremonies in your lives?
It is quite controversial question because nowadays Ukraine following European traditions and ceremonies are not the most important events in the individual's life. But of course there are some which should be mentioned because one of them is of course wedding ceremony.
Do you see the role of private and public ceremonies changing in the future?
Obviously, yes, because if we are speaking, for example, about wedding ceremony 10 or 20 years ago, it was a huge one for 100 or 200 people, and nowadays people prefer to have cozy family ceremonies and to celebrate it with traveling somewhere rather than having a restaurant for 100 people.
All right. Have attitudes to marriage changed in recent years?
In my personal opinion, yes, because if a quarter of years ago, maybe people again prefer to have large ceremony and they want everyone to know that they are getting married. Nowadays, people don't want to give that information to the public.
In what ways do men and women feel differently about marriage, in your opinion?
Okay, it's quite controversial because I maybe don't know how men feel, but for sure women want to feel safely when they are married.
Okay, what sort of national events make headlines in your country? Let's talk about Ukraine, the current country where you're just living now.
If we are talking about Ukraine, of course it's Independence Day because there are a lot of ceremonies in the city center, and of course there are a lot of music bands which perform here. And it's a holiday, so people go out and walk.
Thank you. Does the media in your country pay more attention to global or national events?
Comparing to 10 or 20 years ago, when all the media was paying more attention to global events, nowadays things changed. And yes.
Why? Why that?
I believe that connected with all the politics events which happened here in 2014. And that's why now media concentrated on the local events.
Okay, thank you. This is the end of the test. Thank you.
Thank you.